Hey everyone.
Oh,
Hello. He's back.
he is
He's
back.
back.
He's in charge.
The boy's still on holiday. Still enjoying my holiday. But back from Disney, back from beautiful Paris, back from beautiful France, just before all the new COVID rules kicked in. So that was good timing. But welcome everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Just had to say it. Yeah. I just want to be inclusive. Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Hello, Amelia. Hello, Izzy. Good afternoon for you. Hopefully, you can keep up and not fall asleep both. So what's for this week? Let's get started with a look back on the week, the weekly retrospective. I didn't do that much, but still want to share some stuff. So, Richard, what have you been up to?
So this week I've been looking at Azure Firewall with Kubernetes clusters, sort of Azure Firewall in a separate subscription inside Azure, doing some VNet peering, linking all that up, working out the best way to do the ingress rules, if we need DNAT rules or stuff like that. I've been working on that with Carl, who's been on the show a couple of times now. What else have I been doing? Today I spun up an Active Directory server and a domain controller for the first time in God knows how many years, which was amazing. I was even running server 2022. It's weird because it still has the domain functional level and the forest functional level is 2016. So nothing's really changed since then, but I was hoping something might have. But yeah, so I'm playing around with that today and had some calls with some people from Microsoft about something we're working with. So hopefully we can announce that soon and that should be good. But yeah, it's been a fun week. I've enjoyed myself getting dirty with Azure Firewall, which I've never really touched before. So it's been super fun. How about
That's
you,
good.
Gregor?
So this week's been a couple of things. So one of our customers is replacing an enterprise service bus with some Azure services. Not sure which ones yet. So going to be working on that probably 3 or 4 days of the week. So kind of working on that with our special guest today, Dan. Also looking at, we've got a new data scientist who started last Thursday. So I've been talking to Kaisha about the kind of stuff that I've been doing with Data Factory. So she's going to kind of have a look at the stuff that I've been doing and maybe help me with some Databricks stuff. So that'll be cool. And this morning we did a Azure Fundamentals workshop. So that's kind of been it for this week. Fairly busy on that stuff. So yeah, it's been good. Wesley, you've been on holiday.
Right.
So what have you been up to?
Well, we got back last Tuesday, so 2 days ago. Actually been getting into some tech stuff again, working on recording some videos. I'm finally going to do that video series, Azure in less than 15 minutes, so just bite-sized chunks of videos about Azure stuff. It can be very simple, can be very technical, but just a little, focus on one subject. Trying to keep it within the 15 minutes so people can actually watch it, because I don't know about you guys, but I don't really watch all those 19-minute videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
I usually skip through them to see what I want. Other than that, yes, got back from holiday. We did Disneyland Paris, which was amazing. And then we did Paris, which was great as well. It's a really nice city. It's really busy, really crowded. Traffic is insane. Don't drive your car in Paris. It's horrible. Other than that, good public transport though. So you can get anywhere with the subway. It's really easy to get somewhere. It's a really nice city. Visited all the important parts, all the stuff that you want to make pictures of. So we did that.
Nice.
But the best memories, obviously Disney. Got a lot of swag. Got my little Groot fluffy there. Yeah, I got some stuff for my bag. Got a t-shirt, lots of t-shirts. Got my Groot t-shirt.
Nice.
Big fan of Guardians of the Galaxy, so everyone needs to have a baby Groot t-shirt, right? So yeah, and then I've been playing with some Azure storage accounts today, but we'll talk about that in the next part. What's new in Azure? And there was a lot of new stuff in Azure, a lot of stuff went GA. So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Richard, what was new for you in Azure this week?
So one thing that jumped out for me was using sort of managed identities are now in public preview for Azure automation. So you don't need to worry about your service principals and everything. So that's really cool to be able to use these managed identities that automatically renew the passwords and stuff makes admin work so much better, your compliance work and all of that. So that's really cool, and I think everyone should start looking at that, and hopefully that'll be GA soon. But yeah, definitely worth looking into. And for other stuff, to be honest, I've not really had time to look into new things coming up. So I think Gregor has. So Gregor, what have you seen that's new?
Yeah, I'm not. This hasn't really been kind of in my ballpark, but they've been announced the Azure Firewall Premium general availability, so that's quite interesting. I know Carl's interested in that. There's also better integration between Azure Monitor and Grafana. So if you've not used Grafana, it's really good for dashboards, so that should be quite interesting. I know Stefan at Intercept's been doing a lot of stuff with that, so that might be pretty cool. And the last one that I noticed was Azure Spheres is now got a new version, so it's up to 21.07. That's it, really. There's a few other things in preview, but that was the kind of main thing that stood out for me.
Yeah. I think one of those things that got into preview was the PowerShell experience for the Azure App Service Migration Assistant. So you could already do that through the portal, but now there's also a PowerShell experience, so you can do some automating around that. And also, normally I don't really talk about Python, but because we've got our guest Dan today, we need to mention something Python. And Python Azure Functions now officially support when GA is custom telemetry to application insights. So better integration with Python, Azure Functions, and application insights, which is good. So we've got a question from Rini. Do you like the new next generation firewall capabilities in Premium?
So for me, I think they're a good start, but you need to be able to route traffic through just, let's say, one IP or a selection of IPs, whereas now it just round robins over however many IPs you got. So that thing, I believe, is still missing, being able to actually route external egress traffic. I would like to see that better, because then I can say this AKS cluster egresses out of this IP, and then this AKS cluster, which can be a production one, routes out of this IP. So I can then filter out which customers or which services, and it seems missing, and I really want that to happen. So hopefully it will come soon. We'll try and give some feedback to Microsoft and see what we can do on that. I think. Yeah.
I think Carl's got Carl's got a comment on that as well. It's a step in the right direction when doing a comparison with traditional next generation firewalls like Palo Alto, WatchGuard, Fortinet. They still have a little way to go. I totally agree with that. To be honest, I'm going to say something totally not up my alley. I miss Forefront Threat Management Gateway. You had that. Have you used it? I'm feeling okay. I think Rini is still in chat. He will remember. But when you had an on-prem environment, you need like firewalling, proxying, Forefront Threat Management Gateway, or ISA server as they call it before, it had, when it comes to diagnostics and logging, it had such an easy interface. You could just click on it, you could write some easy queries. I really liked it. I really, really liked it. I know a lot of people didn't, but I really liked it. So I miss it. I miss it. When they announced Azure Firewall, I thought, all those capabilities are coming back. And then it didn't. But then again, that's fine. It's fine. And what's also good to mention, I think we've discussed it before internally. I've been playing with Storage Account and Azure Defender. Do keep an eye on when enabling Azure Defender. If you read the documentation, I've been testing it and reading the documentation by the letter, which you should do. But then again, we're in IT, so you try first, then you fail, and then you read the docs. That's usually how I do it. But if you read the docs and if you test it, you will see that it's not like real-time detection. When you upload a file, it will not detect it on upload. It will actually do it within 2 hours. So it just periodically scans what's in the storage account. And then it's also based on the signature or the hash. It doesn't actually do more than that. Doesn't mean that it's useless.
Heuristic scanning, has it? There's no heuristic scanning or anything like that.
Like all the stuff we know from ATP, the Office 365 stuff, it works really well, and it's got all that technology, but that's not in Azure Defender for storage account. I'm not saying that you don't use it, but have the right expectation. don't have, if you want to have on upload scanning, you need to write an Azure function that detects the writing to blob, then grab it, and then, push it through VirusTotal. Or there's another good blog post out there from someone who did it with ClamAV in a container, which is a really good way to have on-access scanning for your storage account. So if you have a web app and you allow customers to upload files, and then their files need to be processed, then obviously you want to have them scanned before the customer touches it again or before it's processed into the system. So then you want to have some kind of workaround, like a container running ClamAV where you can send the files to, or use an Azure function with VirusTotal. But just be aware that if you read the documentation, you might get the feeling that it will do on-access scanning. If you read the rest of the documentation, it clearly states that it doesn't. But, we're in IT, so you read the first few paragraphs and then yeah, all right, that's what it does. It doesn't do that. So just be aware. Other than that, really good product. But
it would be good to get ATP integrated with it better, and then
yes,
because ATP is a good product.
Well, especially because so if you go to platform as a service, or if you go to Azure and you use virtual machines and you want to do that transformation into the next gen of your application, the next gen of the platform, you're going to use either app services, you're going to use functions, or you're going to use containers. For all of them, you want to have some level of stateless in your coding, your solution. So you want to have storage that's not bound to the instance of the app server, the container that's running. So what you would do is, or what we tell customers, all right, this is the blob SDK. These are the SDKs for Azure. This is blob storage. This is how you write to it. It's really fast if you build it well. If you do it nice and asynchronous, it's a really good way to store your files. And then comes the security question. So that's why that's why we'd like to see more of that ATP stuff built into storage accounts. That'd be good. All right, now it's time for our guest. And we've mentioned Python, so we should be good. I think it should be pretty positive. Yeah, so they say that real heroes wear capes, but I like to say that real heroes are balls. Give it up for Dan. Hey, Dan.
What an introduction. Now then, how are we doing?
Wow.
Good, how are you?
I was expecting some abuse. I wasn't expecting an introduction like that. So thank you very much.
Welcome.
Good to be here. It's nice to have the Dan special.
Yes. Well, we should have thought of that. We should have called it the Dan special. The one with Daniel Mcloughlin. We should have done that.
Yeah. Next time you're on, Dan, we'll get you a Dan special. Don't you worry.
Yes.
Yeah. You'll know for next time.
We'll brand it. So Dan, welcome. The way this works is we're going to ask you a couple of questions. We're going to start with Richard, then Gregor asks a question, and then myself. After that, we have some this or that questions, and hopefully you're willing to answer all of them. I think we've got a good series of questions. Richard probably think of some of his own as well, but we'll see. Yes, Carl. I trained that a lot. McLaughlin.
Yeah.
McLaughlin.
That's grand. Yeah.
But you're not from Scotland.
No. Oh, Wesley.
When you hear, I know you're not from Scotland, but when you hear McLaughlin, I think of Braveheart and stuff. I don't know why.
It's not too far off. The name is spread amongst Scots and Irish, and we get about a bit.
Oh, so we're going to be a bit careful with that. Okay. All right. First, let's skip this subject. First question. Richard, go ahead.
Here we go. So, Dan, you joined Intercept quite recently. I think it's like your second month or something.
Mm-hmm.
How did you come across Intercept, and what made you join us?
Well, I knew that you guys worked there, and I ended up getting the job here. Funny story, through the Twitter community. I was talking to a couple of people, mainly Carl Cook, who you've been on before, who very kindly helped put out the feelers to help me try and look for another job. He put me in contact with some key people, but also put me in contact with Intercept. And I spoke to yourself, Richard, and Gregor, and one thing led to another, a couple of rounds of interviews. Here I am. But I have to mention it because I've got to give Carl the credit for the introduction. But I somehow started joining before Carl. He was on a 3-month notice, and I was on a 1-month notice. So although he effectively helped me get the job, I still started a good month before him, and I'm sure he's not bitter about it at all.
I don't think he mentions it more than twice a day.
No.
So, Dan, have you any plans for a holiday this year? And if so, where are you planning on going?
Just had one a couple of weeks ago. Took the family down south to Norfolk. I say down south, that's anything below Sheffield as far as I'm concerned, where I live. But we went to Norfolk for a week in the sunshine, tried to keep the kids entertained as best we could. But yeah, it was really good, thank you.
Cool. Thanks.
All right.
Well,
So, with people joining from different countries, we've got different cultures. Was that something you need to get used to? And I'm combining two questions here because it's an overall thing. So, how did you get used to the culture? Did you see any differences? And then you're also working from home, which I imagine that in your previous job you might have driven to the office or work from home a bit less than you're used to now. Now it's like completely remote, especially with COVID. How did the experience go for you? And
yeah, great combination of questions. So I worked from home for the past 2 years before joining Intercept. So from a culture shock point of view, that wasn't too bad. I was already set up. I was really concerned when starting that I'd just be working with predominantly Dutch people, and I wasn't sure whether there would be a language barrier, whether I could understand them or understand me. But actually, almost all of my Dutch colleagues speak better English than I do. to the point now where I'm joining customer calls, and they might all be having conversations in Dutch, and they go, "Okay, let's move to English now because Dan's here." And you almost get from Gregor and Richard, you might understand. You almost feel like a sense of guilt because you all speak such excellent English, and I probably couldn't do a single word of Dutch. so I should put a lot more effort into that, and I feel guilty. But honestly, from a culture position, you're welcomed with open arms from day one. In fact, before even day one, I was invited to the social events that we have over Teams, and we had the live stream before I started, and so I almost felt right at home from the get-go. The culture was not, and it still is not, an issue. It's a great place to work.
That's good. That's really good to hear.
Good feedback.
Definitely agree with that. So, Dan, you just said you worked for this company in the UK and everything, and then Intercept Netherlands based. How did you sort of approach that at home? Like, I know when I talked to my missus, she was like, "But it's Netherlands." Like, how did you approach that at home? How did that go down?
Yeah, well, we saw it as an opportunity actually, because I live fairly rurally in North Yorkshire. There aren't a lot of big tech businesses here. My last job, the company were based in central London, and I got quite lucky to get that job for it being remote. I'd worked with some people previously, and so I got lucky in that sense. And I never actually realized the full potential of working from home and working online until COVID hit, really. And then more and more companies were doing it. And just having conversations with you guys before I started, you kind of realize that actually, Gregor's internet's going to go off when he answers.
Gregor's phone's ringing. We need to get rid of that.
So good.
I've got it on speed dial, you see.
Yeah, I just honestly, I saw it as an opportunity, and now I'm thinking, well, there's nothing, anyone else that's like stuck in a job and they think they're limited by location. It's probably not an issue. I know a few people that think, oh, well, I'm comfortable where I am. I've been here a long time. It's only like half an hour to the office. I can get by with that. I could never work for companies such as Intercept or Microsoft or wherever because they're all over the world. Well, actually, you'll find if you start making inquiries, that's not going to stop you these days. So it's one of the few positive things to come out of the COVID, scenario.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I have to agree. So, Dan, apart from working with me, what's your highlight of the week? Week to week at Intercept?
I think all I've done is work with you.
So what's the other highlight?
Well, I was able to talk to a few of our customers. I'd done, like, from my early days at Intercept, I'd done some design sessions with these customers. So I talked to them, get to know who they are and what the business is, and then I'd be tasked with coming up with a design to solve their problems that was within their budget, and I would present it to them. They'd go away and have a think about it, and then we'd have some follow-on calls. So this week I've had 2 follow-on calls with some very exciting customers to get their feedback on the design. Do we need to make some tweaks, and are they happy to go live? And feedback has been really positive. As always, these things are fluid, so there's a bit of back and forth. And yeah, it's been an exciting week. I've been getting to know Kaisha, who's our data scientist. So I'm excited about some of the projects that she's going to be involved in. So I'm going to try and stick very closely to those. And I don't know, maybe I could put my Python experience to good use in some of those machine learning scenarios. We'll have to wait and see. But other than that, just yeah, hanging out with you, Gregor.
All right.
Well done.
What was it like growing up as Daniel Mcloughlin?
I had a hard time learning to spell my surname when I was little.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it was good. I've had a really good childhood. You know, lived some really nice, beautiful places. Been very privileged, to be honest. I've a lot of things, like a lot of times when I'm talking to people about it, they might ask me whether I've been to the Netherlands before, and I'll go, yeah, I did the Nijmegen marches, and I apologize, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. So I used to be in the junior version of the Royal Air Force, if you like, called the Air Cadets. And when I was 16 or 17, I went over and joined the British military contingent, and we did this crazy 100-mile march over 4 days in somewhere in the Netherlands that I'd never even heard of before. And it was so hot, the tarmac was melting like chewing gum. I often find that's a great conversation started, getting to know some Dutch colleagues and customers. There they go, have you been here before? I go, oh, well, I nearly died, but yeah, it was great.
Well, I'm glad you didn't die.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Awesome. So apart from doing 100-mile walks, what other hobbies do you have outside of work?
Richard, you know, I've got 2 young children. I don't have time for hobbies. It's just keeping those entertained. I've got like a 100 and so year old house, so there's always bits to do on that. Just discovered this week we've got not 1 but 2 wasps nests, so I need to try and clear those out without getting myself killed. And yeah, honestly, it's just keeping the kids entertained. My eldest starts school in September, so we're trying to ease him into that scenario without any dramas. And yeah, no time for hobbies, really. I do like to go running every now and again when I get a chance, but don't quote me on that.
Nice.
Cool. So Dan, what's your favourite Azure tech?
Ooh, I really like
Python. Don't say Python Azure functions.
I'll go with Cosmos DB. So it's interesting getting different people's takes on what Cosmos DB is and how you use it. So I was talking to Kaisha again, and from a data science perspective, she was saying, as far as she's concerned, it's just a data repository. You load some data in there, you do your analytics on it. But from me, it's like, I think it's a really credible alternative to SQL if your workload supports it. So say, for example, in a previous role, in fact, previous 2 roles, I have had to automate Azure billing end-to-end from a partner center perspective. You call the partner center APIs, the responses you get is JSON. Working with spreadsheets, it really just lends itself to working with Python-based function apps, because Python is that excellent sticking plaster technology to get you from point A to B to C. And Cosmos DB just fits in natively. You're working with JSON, you're saving in JSON. If you're not familiar with the Mongo API, you know, if it's a different change in mindset to working with, you can use the SQL API for it, so it's a bit more familiar. In my opinion, I think that's kind of cheating, because why would you ever use SQL to query JSON? But hey ho, you know, Microsoft would like to use it, so I'm not going to stop you. But honestly, I think it might not be the most exciting technology, but I think it deserves its place up there with some of the big hitters, you know, like the virtual machines, the function apps and the logic apps, and it's often something that's probably overlooked. Yeah, that's my take on it. Open to interpretation.
The answer is never Mongo API.
Not
If you do a test, the answer is never Mongo API.
not on the exams. No, it's always SQL API. Yeah, Microsoft, I do think are a little bit biased on that. Even with a lot of the SDKs, they will try and push you down the SQL API route. Even if you look at working with Azure Function Apps with Cosmos DB, I know I keep talking about it, the documentations and the SDKs are all focused around the SQL API. There's very little in terms of the Mongo API. I'm saying it on here now in case someone from Microsoft is listening. Hear me roar.
Good feedback.
All right, yeah, we'll be sure to pass that on. So Dan, if you could choose only one flavor of ice cream to eat for the rest of your life, what flavor would that be?
Rum and raisin. Yeah, rum and raisin. I'm torn between that and mint choc chip, but rum and raisin.
Wow, that's a flavor.
I think you could literally ask anyone in the world what flavor, nobody would say rum and raisin.
No.
Yeah.
I think you're the only person in the world who would say rum and raisin.
It's because everyone else in the world is wrong.
All right.
Right. So, Dan, we all know about your internet outage. Tell us a bit about that and how actual remote are you? Because I've never heard that happen to anyone ever before.
Honestly, I'm not that remote. It's like 15, 20-minute walk to get into the nearest town, which is technically a city. The Queen kind of ordained it as a city or whatever you call it. But if you look out either window, all you're going to see is fields for miles and miles. And my internet went down because a tractor got tangled up in the telegraph pole and ripped all the wires out. So I've been trying to convince our CTO really to give me Starlink. So I'm making some progress. We'll see how it goes.
Good luck with that. Okay, I think I've got one last question. What is your favourite music, Dan? Do you actually code to music as well?
No, yeah. So I'm a bit of a metalhead, but I really like. So I really like Irish folk music, but with a blend of rock. So my favourite all-time band are a band called Flogging Molly. The lead singer is from Dublin, but they're an American band. They kind of blend American folk music with a bit of rock and some acoustics, and I love them. But I can't listen to music with lyrics in while I'm coding. So I've recently discovered trance music. So I'm there bobbing my head along listening to trance music. I started off watching it on YouTube. I go like find a random music festival I'd never heard of before, kind of set it off playing, doing my work. And that got a bit too distracting because all of a sudden there's people not wearing very much dancing around at a music festival and going, oh God, right, I can't have that on. So I'm back on Spotify. But yeah, trance music for coding too, maybe some dubstep, stuff like that. But very much like I'm a huge Iron Maiden fan. My claim to fame is that they once gave me a shout out at a music festival that I went to. That's a different story. But yeah. Yeah, one for next time for round 2 of Dan Special.
Yes.
Gregor, what music do you code to?
Trance music. Actually, Dutch guy Armin van Buuren usually, so something like that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Well, you should have said, well, break out the glow sticks next time.
Yeah, I've not got any of them. No, I like listening to music that doesn't have it's a good beat, but no lyrics for when I'm coding as well.
All right.
Yeah.
What about you, Richard?
Disney songs mostly when I'm doing PowerShell. Bit of Frozen.
That was
You're bullshitting. That's
not the answer I was expecting.
It just clears your mind, and you can just let it go, and it just flows.
Oh no! I knew he was going to say "Let It Go." That's so cheesy. Like
that is way too cheesy. What will you listen to? Jungle Book? How do you code to that?
No, like Moana soundtrack is really good. The Frozen
it's a small
soundtrack.
world after all.
No, that's the one Disney song I will not listen to because you just get it stuck in your head all day. I cannot do that.
We're not judging you at all.
No,
well, we kind of are.
You can judge. Carry on. I love it.
We kind of are. Okay.
Oh, we're not going to ask Richard for a rendition. It's normally Wesley, but now Richard's let the cat out the bag. Come on, Let's hear "You're Welcome" by.
You don't want that. You do not want that. Trust me.
All right. Does it have
What about
Richard,
Wesley?
some kind of-
What does Wesley listen to when he's coding?
A good question. Not trance music. I listen to old school hip hop when I code.
Cool. Cool.
It gives me, I don't know why, but it's just, I love it.
Nothing wrong with that. Nice.
But like the
Nothing wrong
really
with that,
old
just
stuff,
Disney.
not. Yeah, Disney's good, but I can't code to Disney. I can't do that. But back to Richard. Just wait up. Didn't Richard have a story where he touched someone's hand at a concert on our own music?
Oh, yeah, I touched Taylor Swift's hand once. That was quite fun.
Richard touched Taylor Swift's hand. This is
That should have been a fun fact.
Well, we'll do it now, but this also clarifies and explains why he listens to Disney when he codes.
My music tastes are very strange. They're literally, I can listen to old school hip hop like you, to trance like you, anything and everything. I can
What's
listen
your
to
favorite
like
Taylor Swift song?
Oof, there's a lot.
No,
May-
never
may-
mind.
Maybe one of the older ones, like "You Belong with Me" or something like that, or maybe even
I
"Fearless."
don't
the piano
even
version.
know what song you're talking about.
Cut.
What's the distance on the restraining order, Richard?
Well, I think it's timed out now, thanks to COVID, so we're all good.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! I didn't.
What? Taylor Swift made country music?
Yeah. The old school stuff is the best stuff. The country music is so much better than her new stuff. Just putting that out there.
I never hear country. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
Well,
See, my genres go everywhere. Like country music, literally anything I can listen to, I will listen to.
I can do anything but country music.
Country music's good. I can't code to country music.
I'm feeling the need
Yeah.
for an Intercept Spotify playlist.
Yes, and maybe
It'll
some
be a
line dancing.
mixed bag.
When we ever line dancing when we've got a get together. We all get the cowboy boots.
Yes.
Should do that.
I'm off that week.
All right, so we've got some more on this later. We've got some this or that questions for Dan. I think Greg is going to find them. So you have to answer.
Yep.
A or B.
Yep. You ready, Dan?
Yeah, go on then.
Okay. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Beer or wine?
Beer.
Eggs or bacon?
Bacon.
Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Socks or barefoot?
Oh, socks.
Fake or a real Christmas tree?
Oh, real.
Batman or Superman?
Batman.
Reading or writing?
Writing.
Summer or winter?
Winter.
Sweet or sour?
Sweet.
Work standing up or work sitting down?
Sitting down.
And the last one, Monday or Friday?
Friday.
Good answer.
Oh, I think I got off lightly there.
Yeah, you did.
So,
Monday.
I just want to ask one more question, Dan.
Here we go.
SQL managed instance or Azure SQL?
Forgot to add that in.
I can't see who's listening in from Microsoft, but managed
Cosmos.
instance is Cosmos. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you not drink any coffee? A lot of the people from the UK say tea, but when you guys wake up, do you drink coffee or tea?
So I stopped myself. I used to be a massive coffee snob. I used to spend a fortune every month. I had all the different kits. I would order my beans in, especially have them roasted to my preference. And I had to stop. It was becoming a problem. So now just stick to good old Yorkshire tea.
Yorkshire tea.
I'm not
I
a big
see
fan
you,
of the Yorkshire
Richard.
tea.
All right.
English breakfast tea for me.
I'm just wondering whether I'd get any money off him if I mentioned them on the live stream. But
So is it true that when you say English breakfast, that the contents of the breakfast may differ depending on where you are in the UK? I heard that somewhere.
Yeah,
Well,
it does a bit.
Or do
Also,
all the people from the UK throw in beans for breakfast?
Yeah, we have
Well,
beans for breakfast.
a different example is like a Scottish breakfast. You might have haggis, or you might have black pudding and things like that. You probably wouldn't get that in an English breakfast. You
That's
get something else.
basically just
I
blood,
think
right?
Yorkshire has a black pudding. 'Cause
Yeah,
my
we have
sister's
black
from
pudding.
Yorkshire. Yeah, but down south where I'm from, we wouldn't have black pudding.
Okay. Okay, never
So
mind.
apparently, Carol says you want an Ulster fry. I need to ask
What's
him
that?
what's that.
What is that?
Don't know, but it sounds good.
No, it sounds.
It sounds like a
Exclamation point. Oh yes, there's an exclamation point. I don't know what is that. Carl, please describe in chat what this is, and we might consider eating it.
That sounds like it could be along the same lines as a Glasgow kiss.
It sounds like fish.
Mm.
No, to me that sounds something really greasy, being a big fry up or something. You know, you've got some fried toast or something, and fried bacon, fried
Right.
sausages, lots of grease. Well, we could be wrong.
All right. Well, we're gonna head on to the next part. Dan, you want to stick around for the fun facts?
Yeah.
All right. We'll go on to the fun facts, and then we'll see what Carl also says. Whatever an oyster fry is. We'll see. Fried all the things and beans.
Nice. So does he fry the beans as well? I hope not.
Yes.
That would just be weird.
I don't even like beans, just beans in general don't really appeal to me.
Not for breakfast.
So, fun fact. I just want to talk about Disney. When you go into the Buzz Lightyear ride, it's a ride where you go in and you sit in a chair and you get a gun. And then you get a little stick that you can, go left and right with your chair and you have to shoot all the targets. Apparently, people don't really appreciate it or find it weird when you start yelling, the Buzz Lightyear thing to infinity and beyond. If you start yelling that on a ride, people really go like, oh, what's that guy about?
I take it that's just from experience.
Yes, I just went in and were like, to infinity and beyond! And people were like, well, what the hell? What the hell?
Did you say it several times in a row or just once?
Yes, no, a lot during the ride. I was just yelling a
That
lot.
might be why.
Yes.
Were you the only adult on the ride?
No.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
It's a good ride. It is actually fun.
It is a good ride. I really love Disney. I was there when I was young. Another good fact, if you've been into Space Mountain when you were little, and you go into Space Mountain or Hyperspace Mountain as they call it now, it's not going to be the same experience. That ride is built in 1995, which means that if you sit in it now, you are guaranteed to get out of it with a headache because it's not that comfortable. It's a nice ride, don't get me wrong, but you'll get a headache. So, but no, amazing park, amazing stuff. Disney Studios, even though we went there for Disney Park, right? But I think Disney Studios, I loved it. It was the best.
Tower of Terror, amazing ride.
The Tower of Terror, yes, yeah, it's really fun. When you go to Disney and then you're all right, Richard goes, you need to do the Tower of Terror, the Hollywood Hotel, as they call it. And you get in there, and then Richard's like, no, you can, yeah, it's fine for kids.
Yes.
You're like, okay, and you take an 8-year-old, and they're the right height. You get in there, and it already everyone is in character. That's amazing. So all the crew there is in character, right? So it's like a hotel, and you need to get into an elevator. And you get there, and then you have to walk through a library, and they check you into the hotel, and it's really, really amazingly done. And then you get to the elevator, and it's all spooky and horror, and then you're there with an 8-year-old. I'm like, oh, not sure Richard was right. But Richard's like, oh, you just have to do it. No, it's fine for kids. Then you get into the elevator, and then you sit. You have to sit there, and you have to put on your seatbelt. And then you look down, and there's like grips next to your seat. And you can see those grips have been used a lot. So you look down, and you're like, this is not for kids. This is not right for kids. You sit there, the elevator goes back, everything goes dark. You see the ghost of a little girl talking, and then you shoot up with an insane speed. You get pulled down faster than gravity can pull you down. So you're basically floating, holding those handles like, and then you look next to you like, this is not a kid's ride. This is not a kid's ride.
Definitely a kid's ride. As long as you're 140 or taller, it's fine. It's
But
amazing.
then when I got out, the first thing I had to think of was Richard going, yeah, you can take a kid in there. Yes, from a height perspective, you can.
Yeah, it's fine.
Psychologically, I don't think that's a good idea.
Oh, it's an amazing ride. One of my favorites ever.
It's really good. Well, one of the best ones. I like the pirate stuff. So the Pirates of the Caribbean stuff.
Yeah.
Fun fact: Dan has something within reach.
Ooh.
It's like our Jack Sparrow. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got several wigs just within arm's reach for different occasions, should I ever need them.
So is that different occasions? Is that different types of customers, or well?
Just depending on how I feel. I was feeling piracy this morning.
Why do you have a pirate's wig?
Why would you not have a pirate's wig?
Or why
Is this
would you
your
have
hobby,
it within reach at work?
It's not like I could grow my own.
Okay, fair
That's
enough.
a fun fact. I used to have hair down to my shoulders when I was younger. There's your fun fact. And then I started Intercept and it all fell out.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Oh, someone saying Wesley is Groot. Yes, I've got 2 Groot t-shirts. One of them, this one. I love it. And then I've got a little Groot here, which is a magnet, so it sits on my microphone. And we've got the little this one.
Say little, but that's quite big.
No,
that's cool.
I love this one. I love this one. I've got some other stuff on my bag. We bought a lot of swag. I think Disney doesn't have to be that expensive, but when you get into the shops, you're like, oh, this is going to be expensive week.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was fun. Best holiday ever. Can't wait to go back. Want to visit the one in Florida as well. But
Me too.
it'll take some time. But we'll see. Yeah, do we have other fun facts? Greg or Richard? Or with you?
I'm not sure it's a fun fact, but I'm away next week on holiday. So
Oh,
going to be away with no internet signal or anything like that. So it should be quite interesting to sort of
Where
be
you
away
going?
from tech.
Bermuda Triangle.
just-
What
No.
place on earth do they not have internet? What's
It's
that?
like it's
Yorkshire.
sort of,
He's got a Yorkshire.
yeah, I'm going to Yorkshire. I'm going to Dan's house. I'm driving a tractor there. I'm going to take out all the internet. No, it's like it's just sort of down in this national park, about an hour and a half, 2 hours away, and it's just like dark skies and no light pollution, no phone masks or anything. So I'll be doing some day trips to keep making sure I got internet access every now and again. But where the actual shepherd's hut is, there's no phone signals, no Wi-Fi or anything like that. So it should be good. Actually, be able to get away.
Oh, they even have 4G in the subway in Paris, which is like, below the world. There's not supposed to be 4G there. How can you not have 4G where you're going?
I know. I need to take this satellite, the Starlink stuff down. I need to buy some of that and take that with me.
But all right. Well, it's good. Well, have fun.
Yeah,
Fun. I'm still
enjoy.
going to be off next week. Still going to do Intercept Insights next week, but I'm still going to be off. So.
I just won't be there because I'll have no signal.
Oh right, you're not going to be there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad. We'll replace you.
Yeah.
We'll think of something. All right. All right.
Dear.
I think that's it for this week.
Does indeed. Enjoy your holiday, don't you?
Thank you.
Yes, we should enjoy. We won't see you next week. We'll see you in 2 weeks then. Greg, I'll see you next week. Dan, see you in 2 weeks. I'm still off next week. Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Enjoy the rest of your holiday.
Yeah, you're playing Destiny this week.
Yes.
All right.
Let me know when you just ping me in.
Yeah,
Come on.
your message. If anyone else wants to play Destiny, let us know. We can team up. All right. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you for joining, everyone. Thank you for watching, and see you next
Bye,
time.
everyone.
See
Bye
ya.
bye.
Bye bye.